So welcome. I hope that everyone has had an amazing week, and what better way to finish it off than to attend a coffee and croissant CPD session. As you know, over the last few weeks, we have been looking at live feedback or live marking and feedback in books. And we've looked at it in different contexts. We've looked at it in from the perspective of the English department and some of the amazing things they do. And then last week we had Kalsum and Saj, who were focusing on maths and science. And we're going to continue that theme for today. And today we are going to be looking at strategies that you can use for live marking and feedback, in particular for the most able children. So what are we doing to really stretch our most able students within the lesson, within the context of live marking, to really push them on and really give them that extra boost they need to get the top grades. So we have brought in our MAS expert today to lead this. So without further ado, I'm going to pass you over to Jalor. So enjoy, everybody.
Right. Good morning, colleagues. Thank you very much, Mr. Wallace, for that. Excellent. And I'll just really quickly start off with feedback for the more able students. Point number one. So very quickly, the live marking, the MAS structure. So when we look inside a book, we're looking for, and when looking inside the MAS Pathway A and Pathway X students, their books, we want to really see that teachers are making comments or codes, and they're posed as questions, and they scaffold learning in order to correct students' work, as well as give students the opportunity to correct errors. Then it's students have redrafted their work in green, and they've understood the corrections, and that enables them to carry out their task. At the end of this, we want to see a dialogue between students. There's the red pen marking, there's the green pen improvements, and then what it does is, I think most departments, with the exception of maths and science, we're using T codes. Our T codes must be increasing in challenge, must be increasing in difficulty, allowing students the chance to extend writing. So those opportunities to extend their writing. And then what you have is, at the end of this, with persistence, you're going to create the masterpiece. And that's what we're looking for in an MAS students book and book. We're looking for the masterpiece after the live feedback has been provided. So moving on. So this is a example from history. So history, they're using challenge targets, which enable students to extend their learning and understanding, and go through key skills. So initially, you've got your model being provided, and then you've got the actual T codes provided. So in this case, T7, linking back to the question itself. You've got the green pen marking, and then what you've got right here is CT1, which stands for the challenge target number 1. And if you look at the actual challenge target, it's now explaining the consequence of the actual question itself. So the T codes, they must be increasing in challenge. Once you provide them, they should be increasing in challenge. And they are, if you look at Bloom's taxonomy, they're looking at the end point of Bloom's taxonomy, really concluding statements that explain the link back to the question itself. And then finally, with a lot of persistence, with the green pen marking, you've got this very nice dialogue going on, and you've got what we call a final masterpiece being created. And the masterpiece is actually the piece that is grabbing all the marks, and it's what you want your students to know and know how to do, and also how to structure it out. The business department is actually very, very strong at this. So another example is you've got the MAS pupils always attempt the 9 as well as the 12 mark questions. So initially a model is provided, the 12 marker is provided, and you've got an extra thing going on here, which is a structure sheet, which has a distribution of marks, and all the marks there are laid out for the students. And then you've got the task being set, feedback being given with T codes. And again, the T codes are increasing in challenge and increasing in difficulty, allowing students the chance to extend their writing. And what you've got is, again, the final masterpiece being created. So the masterpiece is the one that gets the 12 marks, is the full piece that gets full marks. You've got also on the left-hand side, you've got practical subjects like art. So in art, what they do is they, again, if you look at the targets are increasing in difficulty. So you've got initially painting the background. The second target would be to add more detail at the top of the bottle right here. And then the third one talks about the brush strokes and then how you can incorporate colored pencils. And usually with practical subjects, the improvements are made on the piece of work itself. So that's such a really nice drawing there, and art is doing a fantastic job about it. The second point to note is for feedback for MAS after assessments. Now, this is a very key one actually that I really do believe in, is once students have had an assessment, we've had interim two, we've marked their work, we've given back their scripts, and then also we've gone through the work itself, and we've allowed our students to write down modeled answers in green. The paper has been reviewed, and hopefully students are aware of their problem areas. But do we follow that up with similar questions? That's the question actually. Do we actually follow it up with similar questions? Because we want them to have a secure foundation in the exam papers, in the exam scripts, and the questions that they've attempted. Take this, a kind of bad example really. So I've taken this geography question, looked at this geography question, and on the left you can see that, well, it's saying, well, can you suggest how plate movements cause tectonic hazards in Iceland? Now, we could provide a mark scheme, just like I've done on the right, and expect students to know how to go ahead and answer this question. However, what you've got to really understand is, although our Pathway A and Pathway X students, they're meant to be the top students, their reading age isn't where you want it to be really. And words like demonstrates, coherent, application, analyzing, analyzing, all these fancy words, is too hard to decode for them. So you must be providing a modeled answer. How to get those 6 marks? Where are those 6 marks? How would you go about getting those 6 marks? What would you need? How would you need to structure it? These are certain things that our students won't be able to do, and it's up to us to give them that. Also, right at the bottom there, you can see that in red, in order to attain the level 3 detailed responses, you need to have those geographical terms need to be applied. So we look at subjects which involve a lot of writing. Are we hitting on those key words, those really tier 2, tier 3 words? Those geographical terms in this case, are we really getting our students to write those words down? And when they're making those 6 marker modeled examples, when they're doing those 6 marker questions, are they using those key terms? I've used a bad example in geography. I'll just show you a very good example of what's happening. So very quickly, there is initially a student does a paper, receives a mark, in this case, let's say 18 out of 33. The teacher has modeled the answers right in the middle there, students have written down, and then a similar paper or a shadow paper is used. So what a shadow paper in maths we call a shadow paper is a paper that has more or less the same type of questions. So are we following up? Are we allowing students to have another go at the same type of thing in their assessments? Because it's all about boosting the confidence of our MAS students. And right here, what you can see is, so from 18 all the way to now 25 marks, an improved mark on the shadow paper brings out the best in our MAS students, because it provides them with a secure foundation, and it gives them the chance to, I mean, they feel really good about themselves, that they've improved. And now they've got that, and they've had the chance to really have a go again. So finally, some takeaway messages. Initially, the most important one, I believe, is first of all to ensure that T codes in our departments They provide a regular opportunity for extended writing, and that must be carried out. When we're looking at students' booklet and books and their booklets, we're really looking for, have they mastered a question? Have they created that masterpiece? Teach exam skills or tactics by encouraging students to learn keywords as well as command words. Use model answers, and those model answers need to decode complicated mark schemes, and they should be telling students where they can achieve full marks. Finally, you can use legacy examiner reports to identify common misconceptions and errors, and that provides effective feedback to your students. And actually, last one is, please have high expectations. Don't fall short, actually, and get them to use the T codes, get them to complete the masterpiece. Encourage MAS students to repeat quizzes, to repeat tests, or provide shadow papers until they achieve an expected level or have created the masterpiece. Okay, thank you very much. I'll just hand back to Mr. Wallace. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Jalor. Lots of really useful tips and strategies there. Couple that I really think are really important is that decoding complicated mark schemes. One of the most important things we could do, especially for our MAS students, is really make clear to them what the expectation is within the exam criteria. A lot of them have the ability to train themselves to hit those top marks, but what I often find, even when I'm looking at and working with my own daughter who's still in primary school, actually, is that sometimes she doesn't know what she actually needs to do. And we take for granted that the pupils have got a really clear understanding of the exact language that's going to get them to those really high grades. High expectations. Listen, we've done a load of work as a school about really raising the expectations of our pupils, and I think that we are getting there. But like many things we do, that has got to be a constant drip. We've got to really continue to push home the message that our students can achieve whatever they want to achieve, yeah, and be the best that they can be. And, you know, use that collaboration portal. If someone does an exam or does an end of unit test and it is not good enough, you've got that collaboration portal there to identify the misconceptions, give them back the test paper, get them to do it again, submit their work on the collaboration portal. That is something that they could do in their own independent time. That is something that they could do to prove to you that they've understood what they didn't understand previously, and you can move them forward. So those ideas of really pushing that onto our MAS students are really, really important. Listen, brilliant, guys. Thank you very much.